Welcome to a new bimester. Today we will be reviewing how to open a document of a particular program and specifically of Microsoft PowerPoint and what it is and how to use it. Let's start. How do we open PowerPoint? By clicking on the magnifying glass on a PC in the lower left corner or in the upper corner on the magnifying glass. In either way, we're going to write PowerPoint and we will see PowerPoint application showing up and we're going to click on it. When we click on it, PowerPoint opens and we're going to choose a blank presentation. As you can see, they're called presentations. That means that we are going to present this PowerPoint to someone or several someones, an audience, to express an idea or to express a point or to explain a product. It is the opportunity that the person that makes the presentation has to explain step by step to a group of people or to a person. Now let's try to understand a little bit about the screen on Microsoft PowerPoint. The first thing that we have over here is the slides. The slide is like in Microsoft Word you have pages. Here you have slides. In Spanish they're called diapositivas. The first slide is the title slide, and usually you use it to make your title of your presentation. Title slide. I'm going to let PowerPoint know that I'm going to be using English for my language. If you see a red underlining line under a word, that means that the computer has detected if you have written the word wrong or it's not detecting the language that you're using. Sometimes your computers, as you can see, mine right now is in Spanish, but I'm giving you this explanation in English. So you're gonna see that it may underline my words with a red line. Now here under the title slide, we usually place our name or the name of the company and a date. This is the normal title slide. You can do it in different ways by going to the formatting toolbar and putting it to the left, to the right, or to the center. Now things are going to change. Now we understand that this first unit is a slide and this is the title slide. Now we add more slides or diapositivas where we can have the what I like to call what is this slide. Usually the first slide of your presentation is to explain what you're going to be talking about to the audience, so the audience gets an idea of what you are going to be explaining to them. My recommendation is to try to write little and put or insert images so people can remember what you're talking about. Remember that not everybody is capable of this of reading a lot but remembers images. I'm going to look for an image of PowerPoint. I went to Insert, I chose Images, and then I wrote PowerPoint, press Enter, and all I'm going to do is to choose the PowerPoint logo. Depending on the size, I can either make it bigger or smaller. Now, if I want to write text here, I can insert a text box. And here, I would explain the objective of my PowerPoint presentation. Observe that PowerPoint is written as one word, but to write it correctly, it should be written PowerPoint altogether. See, that is the correct name of the application of the program, and then it doesn't detect it like if you spelled it wrong. Again, I'm in English. See, you start looking at your slides over here, and here is the current slide that you are working. Now there is a section on PowerPoint, you see that I'm pulling. This is where I can make notes to remember during my presentation to say to the public that I don't want it written on the slide, so I don't charge the slide with a lot of information that it makes the presentation boring. It's a presentation, it's not a book. You see? Now we have seen what is PowerPoint, what is a presentation, what are slides. Now there's something called transitions and views. So if I go to views, I can see the normal view, which is where we are right now. We can see the scheme view, the slide viewer or clasificador de diapositivas, note, the page for the notes. Let's say I had several slides. In this one I didn't make any notes, but if I wanted I could. Then I can see the next slide where I did write a note. And then there is the patrón de diapositivas, the different types of slides that we may have. I'm gonna go again to view. I'm gonna go to normal view. Then I'm gonna choose transitions. Transitions is how you go from one slide to the next slide. You see? So now if I press that, when I go from one slide to the next, they're gonna pass or transition differently. I'm gonna go to Insert, another slide. I can change them just by doing this. The order. Obviously the title slide should stay first, and that's how you change the order of a slide. Very simple. This is just a test slide, and remember that what I want you to do after this presentation is to be able to answer the questions on your assignment, which are related to the terms that I'm trying to explain here on your PowerPoint presentation. Transition is how you pass from one slide to the next, and as you can see, I chose, and you have different types here of transitions. That's how one passes to the next, from this slide to this slide. And one thing is how one slide passes to the next, and a different thing is animation. Let's see how the transition from one slide to the next looks like after the ones that I've chosen here from the transition bar and the ones that I chose. Now, to see that, I can go to here. You see, in the lower part, I can choose to see my presentation. I click to see the next slide, and I click to see the next slide. To exit the presentation, I press the key on the keyboard called Escape. It's in the lower left, in the upper left corner of your keyboard. It is the first key on your keyboard to your left. That closes the presentation and takes you back to your presentation PowerPoint image where you can continue writing your documents. Now, animation is something completely different to transition, because animation is the capability or the special effect that you have to give life to any of the objects or all of the objects on your presentation. Of course, if you do it to all of the objects, it's a little bit annoying. So I usually suggest my students to pick 1 or 2 elements every 2 or 3 slides, so the audience gets a boost by seeing this animation on your slide during transitions. I don't recommend to put it on everything. For example, I'm going to take the PowerPoint logo and I'm going to choose to rotate. That is an animation. So if I go back to my title slide, I can put this to float upwards and this one to appear. Now what I'm going to do is again play my presentation over here. It's going to fracture. It's going to come up. And my PowerPoint logo is going to spin. And I'm going to go to my last slide. So there you go with the explanation of the difference of transition and animation. Slides and slide transition. To save, you click on the X and you press save. We are not going to save this one because it's just a practice, and I would really love to hear your comments and see the answers to the vocabulary that I've placed on your assignments. Have a nice day. See you soon. Bye bye.